been asked to try and repair this light bar. You got power, but nothing happens. It doesn't need audio in. According to the owner, but nothing happens. I've repaired it a couple of times, but it was only changing some of the LEDs. You know, there's green, red and blue in there, so it's now a case of trying to find out what's wrong with it. So I'll take it apart and have a look inside. After removing the end caps and taking the protective plastic off, these slide along, and you've got places in here where they plug into. They're not easy to get to. Believe me, I've tried in the past. Some more at this end. So I'll take these out and see if I can get the board out and find out what's wrong with it. As you can see, I have the boards out. There is 4 of these. There's no point putting the other 3 on here. They're all the same. They've got two rows goes out to the LEDs on it. I can check the various LEDs sections by adding a 5-volt supply, and I mean even 3 volts will give them light them up, because they've all got individual resistors on the LEDs, so you can't overvolt them. So I can check those out. The power supply I know works because the display works. If the power supply wasn't working, we wouldn't have a display. So I think that's what so that's okay. We haven't got to worry about that. This is the main unit. Power coming in. Ribbon cable to display unit. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 boards. Connect to those. I've numbered them. It doesn't matter which way they go because the boards are all the same. They're red, green, blue. So you can plug them in anywhere. Those three units sockets aren't used. This one is for the audio in. The board, I'm going to put this under the microscope, but there's a 5-volt regulator. We have 12 volts coming in, so I'll double check that it is 12 volts. Right, the regulator looks as though it goes through a there to that track. That comes around to that capacitor, and then that just feeds all the LEDs panels. So I need to check that, but I need to get the microscope out and double check everything and check those 2 voltages. See if we got anything out, and I'll check that capacitor to make sure there's no short on the capacitor. But basically that's it. It's now a case of diagnosing why those don't work and whether I've got a voltage out of there going to that. If we have, then it's something else, because I've connected it up temporarily. So we've got 240 volts going in. The LED's on to say the power is okay. We'll just double check the output. Where's that? It's negative that side, positive this side, I believe. And we have 12.15 volts DC coming out, so that bit's okay. As I said, it must have been because we got the display working. It wouldn't work if that was the case of the power supply not working. So that's been tested. Move the main module out the way. I can add 12 volts to this via external power supply, so I don't need that particular power supply. This power. I now have the microscope set up. HEF 4069. They're the drivers for the LEDs. Correction, they are not the drivers for the LEDs. These are the, what's it, ULN 2803. They're the drivers for the LEDs. Not sure what they're doing. We'll probably trace them out in a moment. And then we have an ST11F01 with a crystal. I would think that is probably shift register, because we have two of them which then come along. Yeah, they're shift registers because they've both got 24 meg crystals. One lot does one thing and the other one does the others, does the other block. And we've got a microcontroller STC 12C54, sorry, 5A60S2. Sorry about the orientation, but I'm limited to space. It would be on a funny angle. Crystal, another 24 megahertz crystal. That all looks okay. LM358, which is dual op amp, and I would think that is going to be for the audio, because we've also got a microphone next to the audio. Where was the audio? Over there. And that's got a 75176B, which is probably another amplifier. Not amplifier. Let's get a bit of something. We have another audio. We have another op amp. I'm going to check these numbers out in a moment on the internet. And there we have a 78M05, which is the medium current device. Need to check the output voltage of that with 5 volts going in, and I've already checked that small capacitor C15 and it's okay, no problems. We can see the caps of the power supply coming in and they look okay, they're not bulged. So I think the next thing is to power this module up and see if we've got 5 volts, or whether that 5 volt rail is dead. I have voltage coming in, just double check. AC Wally. 11.84 volts. So let's check the input. 5 volts out. What's that then? That's 11. Ah, it's 11 volts goes to the lamps. Yes. So it's not the regulator. It's got to be something else on the board. I'll get one of the light units and connect that up and see what we got. Still have the old 12 volts coming in, or 11 odd volts coming in. Just checking that off camera. Yeah, 11. We've got 5 volts coming out, 11 volts there, and .8 volts on those terminals. So by rights they should be working. So it's obviously got to be to do with the microprocessor. I'll have to get another one of the light units off of him and check the board against it, or whether it's the display. Unit. Be easier to do that than to try and check with a scope on signals. But basically, as there's nothing on the output lines, they're obviously not getting the information, so it's probably the processor. But I will check with him. I'll also double check the op amps, but as I say, the op amps I think are there for the audio coming in and nothing else. Can't see what else it would be, to be quite honest. So I'll wrap it up for the moment.